What's up,
Mr.
everybody? Nigeria
Hashem.
Chambers here from Big Go Belt Media. Very excited today to talk to the composer behind the latest Marvel animation project, Eyes of Wakanda, streaming right now on Disney Plus. Hashem, thank you so much for your time and congratulations on this one. Can't wait to talk all about it. How you doing today?
Thank you, Najee. I'm doing good. Thank you.
Good,
Well, be
good.
happy.
A lot of people have been waiting for this project, myself included. And I remember seeing little glimpses of it back at D23. And before we know it, August 1st was here and all the episodes released. And it was to the point now I want more. But they did give us so much in 4 episodes, as this is an animated anthology TV series that within the 4 episodes is really taking us all around in terms of the history of Wakanda. I want to know for you, and I think this is probably the most important thing because with the other projects in terms of Black Panther and in the world of Wakanda, the two live action projects, which is obviously Black Panther, and then the second one being Wakanda Forever, that was scored by Ludwig. And I gotta say, when you come into this project, you instantly feel, an appreciation to his work, but you obviously see that there's been we taking it to the next level. We taking it to the next step. So I want to know for you as the approach, as sort of the creative process and the approach. When it comes down to Eyes of Wakanda, it is rooted in this universe with a strong musical identity and that's already been established by Ludwig. So how did you approach building upon it and or differentiating your sound around the series for yourself?
Well, first, you're absolutely right about what Ludwig did. Is incredible, just incredible, very inspiring, very powerful, very characteristic. They then, when I started writing and sketching in the beginning, just the very early stages, I so as you described, the story is immense. So the story of the Eyes of Wakanda, of the series, is immense. It's huge. And then I had to tell myself that, all right, this is a totally different take on Wakanda, different than what has been done before.
Yeah.
So, and and I like to describe it that way. I needed to blindfold myself and brainwash myself and tell myself, okay, this is the first time
Yeah.
ever they do anything to Wakanda, and that Marvel score that Ludwig did, it doesn't exist. So it liberated me from thinking about it, and it put me on the right path. I strongly believe it put me on the right path to start afresh. To
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think what's there's certain melodies, certain tones, there's certain vocal aspects to the score that we're always going to be able to hear in you can put us anywhere, but there's a certain elements to the theme of Black Panther, the theme of Wakanda that we're just going to recognize. And we recognize that in this as well too. It was that sort of you felt like a responsibility to ensure while you wanted to make this your own that we also knew exactly what we were hearing if we also were blindfolded and had to just hear what the music was going to be.
yes, it's like listening to. I mean, it's like calling your dad on the phone and talking to him with a different voice. That would sound awkward. At
Yeah,
some moment, you need to talk to him. You need to open a new subject, or but we're using the same voice, because
yeah,
some places in the score it's just the sound of the character.
yeah,
You don't want to alter that too much, otherwise you're gonna disappoint the audience.
yeah.
But uh, it's your okay. You're here. You're in the studio, and you're writing the first notes. You gotta come up with something new. That's what you're here for.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, while Wakanda is a fictional um African country, we'll say. You have roots in Egypt yourself, also African descent. And this is also very important to the representation of these projects. It's ensuring that, the folks that either was, if it's within their blood or within their background, but the ones that recognize, sort of the recognize, but yet the understanding of the job that needs to be accomplished. Also want to make sure I give you props about your work in Moon Knight, which is also a fantastic score. One I will say is a little sometimes I feel underappreciated. I think it's actually probably some of the best parts of that series is the score.
Wow.
Especially
Oh, wow.
especially considering because like Moon Knight is such a cryptic character, a mystique behind it. There's the little bit of the horror element as well to it too, a little bit of the street like gritty to it. There's a lot that goes on. Then obviously it goes deep into the Egyptian roots. But yes, it's a fantastic ride. We could probably talk about that for so long. But I want to know for you when you are the right person for the job here. Yes, there's a lot of great composers in the world, Lou would also being one as well too. But like when you understand, like this is the job for you here. I kind of want to know what's sort of the emotions, what's sort of the reaction when you get the call to take on one of probably Marvel's most creative projects in a very long time.
Yeah, I was when I first learned that they are calling for a meeting to discuss Eyes of Wakanda. I was like, wow, Wakanda, wow, because I'm a huge fan
Yeah,
of the films, of course. I'm a huge fan of the score uh, of Ludwig, and then they starting to tell me the ideas and the way they see when Todd Harris, the showrunner, first this but the idea he just you know it felt to me like, okay, this is a new world to me,
yeah,
because Moon Knight had an Egyptian aspect to it. There's an Egyptian character, the culture, and there is a reason why I can relate.
yeah,
I can relate as an Egyptian, a person. I can relate to this, and but this, in Eyes of Wakanda, this is a totally fresh pool for me to jump in and to enjoy the fresh water and the scenery and everything was kind of wow. Never done that before.
yeah.
Never felt that before. Never thought I would musically move in that way before. Uh, uh, yeah, it was an immense experience to me, full of first times for everything, and
Yeah,
full of and this is I mean to me this is magical, because
yeah.
I hate to I hate to feel familiar with anything I'm about to do, especially when writing. So yeah, I love to get surprised.
Yeah,
I love to get well, I didn't hear that before.
yeah,
That's we are all
yeah,
that's we are all searching for while writing music.
yeah.
So it was a great adventure for me.
Yeah, I fully agree. And once again, folks, because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but like Eyes of Wakanda is streaming right now on Disney Plus, all four parts. Uh, when you talk about the surprise, and I did my best, and I even think from the stuff they showed us pretty early at some of the Disney events, D23 and so on, they didn't really explain the type of adventure we were going to go on. It definitely was this idea of going deep into the Wakanda mythos, but like we didn't know we were going to be bouncing around like certain periods of times and certain cultures. And as somebody who is a huge Greek mythology fan, I was blown away that we got to really explore like the Battle of Troy in the with a Wakanda spin or their stakes in it, which was just kind of really mind blowing to the point that I started to really consider could this actually have been history at all? But I want to know for you because yes, while there is sort of idea from the viewers that we're going to go dive deep into the Wakandan lore, we definitely go. way more beyond that. And as you said, it's something that's, as we both said, it's something that hasn't been done. It's something that surprises you. But I also think when you add certain other cultures involved, such as Greek mythology, or just especially within the world of the Battle of Troy and that battle and what it entails, and then also you have Achilles, who's a Greek god who has to have his own sort of persona around him as well too. Like at this point now, you kind of just got to be able to open up the toy box and get to do what you want to do, but there's still a measure of responsibility around it. So I want to know if you, as the composer, when you realize like this is expanding in a way that maybe you did initially wasn't thinking, and you got to be able to do so much more. Just what was the excitement? What was the prep? And what were some of the important things that you had to make sure that you added to give it continuity?
There are multiple, endless ways really to uh, produce a single musical phrase. You can use countless sounds, instruments, various sounds and instruments. And that the question here is how am I gonna musically do this without losing focus on the main mission
Yeah.
of the eye of Wakanda, the eyes of Wakanda. And because I don't want to lose focus, but here is the tension. Here is the one of the dramatic tension. It's like for one of the episodes, the one that you touched here, that and yeah, the funniest thing is one of those meetings with Todd as I was gonna shoot this question is that a true story? I was like, please shoot. I
Oh,
didn't.
baby.
I didn't. But it came to my mind. I mean, anyway, again, back again to not losing focus on the main mission,
Yeah.
but yet describing the real conflict here. He's he's losing friendship prior to getting the mission accomplished. So
Yeah.
it's tearing himself apart, and so bringing all the necessary musical tools, the great flutes, the harp, the percussion, the
Mhm.
vocals, as opposed to the African ones, enveloped in an orchestral thick size, full of choir brass and
Mm.
full of symphonic tonalities. Uh, uh, okay, that is a good recipe for for a meal. But the thing that you will not, that with the taste that would linger and doesn't leave you too soon, it's what I'm after. It's that the sensation of, huh, after the episode ends. It's like, yeah, it's a, it's a, it's a big experience. This feeling that you feel in your chest
Mm.
when it wraps up, the emotions, the the conflict. You know,
Mm.
it's fun because it's. I did that because the role of the music was to find the emotions, the unspoken words, the unspoken
Yeah.
one, the one that words do not touch.
Yeah.
And I'm now trying to describe those with words. So yeah, it's it's a fun exercise, but I'm I'm recalling this experience with you out loud and speaking my mind out loud. I
Yeah.
don't think it was systematic in my head while
Mm.
working. Uh, for some moment, it felt that the music should be poised towards the Greek uh,
Mm.
color, and it should bounce back to the African when Memnon looked back and you know the reveals why he's here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at some when they fight, it's sometimes it's bit of this and bit of that clashing all together. So it was an incredible exercise to me.
Yeah.
It was.
I I feel that. I definitely 100% feel that in what you're saying. And that's why I think that's why I get approached to be able to speak with composers because I feel so much when it comes down to the scores and the storytelling within it. And I try to speak to the folks behind it, such as yourself, to kind of understand what their approach and what your emotions are, because I think that's also important to really incorporate when you go back and watch it again and say, like, this is what they were kind of feeling. This was their brain process in these particular scenes. Here's how they were storyboarding, whatever, whether it's the film, the series, whatever it may be. Because some of the times you only see the script. You don't get to see the finished project and say, well, here's the score for it. You're like, hey, we're working sort of laterally together. And sort of the mastery behind it is like being able to do such an elaborate, such an ambitious project such as Eyes of Wakanda and not have seen it, but only read it to be able to compliment it in a way that hits it right on the head. And that's what this does. And I mean, it goes all the way down to like the regional instruments, the iconic and familiar chants, the rhythms, and then we're going on this sort of global journey and like we're hearing this all through the music itself. And then you get to see it and you're like, wow, this is insane. I think much like you saying your reflection, you can almost watch this without even understanding the plot and still understand you're being moved around the world and you're seeing things that haven't been seen before. You're seeing a unique approach of storytelling that hasn't been done before. And that's why I've been so wowed at this since I've seen it that I need them to load up season two right now and call you back and say, we got work to do. So I'm wondering for you because obviously, as I said, that was one of my favorite episodes, and they're all are great. But I'm just such a Greek mythology fan that this was just the happy blend I didn't know I ever needed till I had it. Was there any particular moments, scenes of sorts, that you were more fond of or highly proud of the work you were able to execute within that scene? And now that you've had a chance to kind of see it come to light, do you kind of reflect back and just kind of say like, yeah, I really got that one right. Like I really enjoyed how it came out
And in that episode in particular you're talking about,
in any episode.
one of the magical things that I have realized while working on that one is that you build a, you relate emotionally relate to the characters that they don't exist. I mean, if you were watching a live action, you love this actor or you felt for him and or this actress, and but this is a real human being and he's there, he's out there. But in the animations, it's no one is there. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
and that's in the incredible aspect of art and storytelling, incredible power.
Yeah.
I remember at the when Achilles fell in this top in the end, and he was going to it's going to pass, or he was going to die, and then I felt after this huge fight a kind of lump in my throat. I felt
Mm,
I felt so sorry for the relation, for the friendship, and for Manon, and I was like, wow, this is I mean this is really emotional,
yeah.
because of the how the scene was built all together and how the curve, how did they reach to that point. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that was a moment to remember.
One thing that people are going to discover upon watching this is that it connects to the larger MCU. And we all love as Marvel fans, we love the connective tissues, we love the Easter eggs, we love the lore. And this one serves you up a very good one by the end of it. I'm wondering for you, how do you feel the score contributes to the larger musical canon of the MCU?
You want me to tell you how the music contributed to the.
Yeah, how do you feel like your score or scores overall contributes to the larger musical canon of the MCU?
I'm not sure I completely getting your question, but for telling how uh,
I'd say this. when you so in characters are new, a lot of new characters were introduced here, and with those characters they have the musical component to them, whether it's their
Yeah,
introduction, whether it's their scenes, and whether we see
yeah,
these characters or not in live action or in animation. But when we do see
yeah,
them again, they have to have their introduction, they have to have that familiar tone
yeah,
that we say, ha, that's Moon
yeah,
Knight, because I've heard that before. Or
yeah,
even before you see it, you hear it, you say, I know what's happening here. So I'm running you
yeah.
from the composer aspect of things. Like, how do you feel that, like, are you aware that this is sort of like the recipe
It's
for
tremendous.
things?
It's a tremendous influence.
Yeah.
Tremendous, whether it's my score or someone else's score, because, like I said earlier with you a few moments earlier, that it's like it becomes your voice, it becomes
Yeah.
your timbre, it becomes the way you talk. Uh, it gives an extra untangible identity to you, to a person, to the character. Uh, uh, I mean, you have the persona, you have the name, the looks, the demeanor, everything. And now you have the music that comes with him, and it becomes him at some moments, and he becomes it, or she
Yep.
becomes it
Yep.
at some moment. So yeah, so yes, it's tremendous influence, tremendous. And what you dream of? I mean, your best bet is to come up with something that is unforgettable.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
speaking of which, if I tell you this, you say, oh wow, yes, of
Yeah. Good
course,
old John
course.
Williams there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And I will end it with this question is that um I think these iconic melodies, these scores that we've heard over the years, you know, people recognize them. They love and appreciate them. I don't think that composers have always gotten the love that they deserve. I do think as of recently, people are starting to turn the corner a little bit more on that to understand that, and I say this to every composer I speak with. I think as moviegoers or TV watchers, we look at iconic duos such as, director, actor. If you see them two together, you're very confident that it's going to be a good project. But there's also been iconic duos in terms of director and composer.
absolutely,
And there's been
absolutely.
many of that. And I think people are starting to recognize that the directors trust these composers because they understand that their part of the storytelling is just as vital as your lead star in doing the role. You have to
Yeah,
ensure that the composer understands the script, understands the character that the music is going to play, even to the point that movies such as Dunkirk, which is a war movie, which is basically limited on any type of dialogue, is literally ran by the score. If there is no score, there's literally no movie there. So I want to know for you amongst your colleagues and peers, I feel like this year composers have officially come out as rock stars and they're getting the flowers that they deserve. And it's only elevating the work to a level beyond anything ever of the past. Like everybody's working at the top rate at this point. For you to understand that and have been doing this for so long, what is the reaction behind society, the moviegoers, the fans, the audiences, to now giving flowers to the folks that's been here for a long time, putting in all this
yeah,
work, but have been silently in the background, just kind of humbled about it?
yeah. I couldn't be happier witnessing this happening. Witness this. I would say awareness, but this is the it's being coming to surface. The film music is coming to surface, and everybody's getting uh, lots of film composers getting noticed and getting nodded for their good works, and they're getting the freedom,
Mm,
the work environment, the healthy work environment that they deserve to deliver more of that great things that you have described.
Yeah.
while working with the directors that they do trust. The directors and producers trust those composers because they know they deliver, and it goes the other way around as well. The composers trust those
Yeah.
directors and producers that they would provide them with the healthy and
Yeah.
the adequate amount of everything. I mean, passion, logistics, time, everything to bring their best and
Yeah.
beyond to the picture. So yeah, that's it's coming. It's coming. I couldn't be happier witnessing this.
Absolutely. What a time to be alive. And thank you so much for your time
Yeah.
today. It's been a complete pleasure talking to you about your latest project, Eyes of Wakanda, streaming right now on Disney Plus. So, Sean, thank you so much. And hopefully, we get to talk again soon. You getting back to work, doing what you do best. I don't know, maybe we get some news about a season two sooner than later. But nonetheless, I'll definitely be keeping eyes on your work, man. Definitely a fan and can't wait to see what comes up next, man. It's been so much fun talking to you.
Thank you, Najir. It was fun talking to you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Have a great rest of your day.
Perilous.